Welcome to Future Ready Live, where we talk about topics that will help CGMAs and CPAs prepare for change and transformation. Today, we're going to be talking about reinventing finance for a post-pandemic world and the latest CGMA research on changing skills in both the small to medium enterprise level and larger corporate finance worlds. Joining me is Andrew Harding, FCMA, CGMA, and the Chief Executive of Management Accounting for the AICPA and CIMA, representing 600,000 professionals globally. You can find Andrew on Twitter at CGMA and at Andrew H. Harding, all combined, and I am at Tom Hood. So hashtag is Future Ready Live and hashtag CGMA. Andrew, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody, and hi, Tom. It's great to be with you today.
Awesome. And you're coming at us from your office or home in the UK?
This is my home office, my home recording studio. So for those people who don't know me, you can see my sort of midlife crisis and obsessions hanging on the wall behind me.
I love that because we were on a call the other day and somebody was commenting on the people that have books behind them, like me. And I'm looking at Andrew, I'm like, man, you're cool. I like the guitars behind you. So that says a lot about your, like you said, your passion, and it's great to have you here. So Andrew, I think what I really want to talk about is you recently released, I mean, it might have been a little bit ago, but this Mind the Gap skill survey, and you really took on some thought leadership about the need for upskilling in the small to medium enterprise market. Can you tell us a little bit about that survey? I think, let me quote one thing that stuck out for me. It said that 2/3, 65% of employers state that the COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted skills gaps in their organization. So tell me more about that. What did you find, and what made you get kind of passionate about taking that out?
Yeah, sure. Tom, we've been getting interested in this for a while. Everything we look at says, change is moving faster than ever before. The average, the half-life of a skill is now down to 4 years. That means, stuff you knew in 2013, only 25% of it's relevant today. So, where does that leave people? Where does it leave people with skills? And, where does it in particular leave SMEs with what's going on with technology and that sort of thing? We've noticed as we've been going through the pandemic, people have talked about a digital divide, the haves and the have-nots, and how that, if anything, is just growing. We've seen some businesses prosper, we've seen others suffer. So we thought we'd take a look at that, particularly at SMEs, where these things are often felt sharper than anywhere else. And we found this thing that 65% felt that they didn't have the right skills in their businesses. In particular, most importantly, those skills shortages were going to hamper recovery and hamper future growth. And it's typically the largest part of it is around the tech side of things, particularly around e-commerce, cybersecurity, data analytics, and even cloud, where an awful lot of businesses are already on top of that. Still felt to be a shortage, but other stuff also comes into it, like financial management, in particular, the ability to look forward with finance and get the benefits from that, and some other stuff, some other traditional SME stuff that we see there. The soft skills piece, the leadership and general management piece as well. Where often an SME is in the hands of an entrepreneur who's terribly commercial, good at the startup, perhaps not so experienced later on. So those are the kinds of things that we see. But to us it feels acute. 65%'s a big number, and we've got a big recovery to fuel.
Yeah, and while we know that your focus on this was UK, I believe, but this is global, right? This is not just limited to UK. We see it in the US. It's all over the world.
Yeah, our focus on this was UK, but this whole skills piece, the pace of technology, it's a global thing. We're all suffering from it, and the other thing we all have common around the world, it's the SMEs that drive employment. It's the SMEs that drive growth, and it's going to be the SMEs that get us out of this pandemic dip.
Yeah, and so a lot of certainly the financial managers, the CFOs, controllers that are in those SMEs, some SMEs don't even have them, but those that do, they need new skills to be able to help advise that business, right? How to come out of this recovery and what are some of the enablers? Obviously, technology is the big one, but it's more than just that, right? It's communication, it's leadership, as you said, understanding data analytics, understanding enough about the technology to lead a technology transformation project inside the finance or the whole business from that standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we have this concept which you and I've talked about before, the idea of the T-shaped accountant. And you know, on the lower part of on the downward part of the T, you've got all those technical skills that you and I learned and studied 4 years ago, and those have now become a given. Across the top part of the T, you've got the skills that make a difference, and that is all about those softer skills, those leadership skills, all of those sorts of things. The crux, the thing that's really hitting SMEs at the moment is this idea that accountants are all about producing reports. That's now on the bottom part of the T. That's a given. Any finance team should be able to produce a report. It's what you do with the report. And finance is moving from being part of sort of governance and compliance to being a part of the organization which influences decision making. Yeah. And has an absolute impact on the direction of the business. So very, very, very different, moving from being back office to being front office, strategic partner to the chief executive, strategic partner to the board in larger businesses. But that's where we're moving to, and those are the key skills that finance has to move to get.
I applaud you on that paper. That's great that you're taking that leadership over across the pond, if you will, and. But a leadership in the whole global marketplace. That's what we're doing at SEMA and with the CGMA certification as well, right? That's another whole angle on that. Let's pivot to, because we'll come back to that. Let's pivot to the paper that I think you did with Oracle, right? It was called Agile Finance Reimagined. And I remember watching a couple of them. They were brilliant webcasts where I think it was Oracle, McKinsey, and some of the folks from your team who were talking about the changes in finance. And while that was done pre-pandemic, it's probably more relevant today. And can you tell us a little bit about what you saw in this idea of business agility and the need for finance to become agile finance?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this was a great piece of work, and it followed on from our original Agile Finance work with Oracle, which I think was 2017, something like that. And we thought, with that pace of change, let's come back and look at that. And that's all about finance, particularly for larger businesses, needing to support the business in a number of ways. Firstly, with this idea of operational excellence, being able to deliver that's been a must for CFOs the whole way through. They're expected to deliver cost leadership and also demonstrate that they're walking the walk as well as talking the talk. It then goes on around digital intelligence, what digital can do, how to manage digital, how to lead digital, as you talked about, and then going on to the business influence thing. A little bit, it's a little bit like that T-shaped accountant thing that's coming through, but it's all on a much bigger scale. We did see there. We saw this skills shortage thing, perhaps talked about in a different way. We were concerned back in 2017. 20% of CFOs had said their people had the right skills to do digital transformation, which is what they were talking about then.
20%.
Come and look at it. Come and look at it now. When we revisited it and reimagined it, it was down to only 10%. So you're starting to see this digital divide get wider. Those leading businesses, there are fewer of them. There are more lagging, and we start to see those impacts. Those who've managed to introduce robotic processing, the speed that can give them, the efficiency that can give them, the agility that can give them, the time it takes out. You really see that. You really see that driving through. And we start to see a number of things that are seen as a must-have but yet only 10% of businesses have the ability to deliver that because their people have the skills that were good in 2013, probably.
Right.
Not so good today.
Not so good now. And the COVID, we just did some recent research with a futurist, and COVID has accelerated a lot of these trends all over. You can go from Zoom trend, how much, like that was like 10 years worth of growth in 1 year. But e-commerce, I think e-commerce, 10 years worth of growth there. Certainly automation, robotic process automation, those have all accelerated by like 5 years. So if you weren't thinking about it last year, pre-pandemic, you've lost like 5 years. And so the notion of agile, getting ready to move quickly, and I think at the parallel with that, you're going to have to start thinking about the skills on your team, because it's critical.
For sure. And everybody wants these skills now, because everyone's, the people that have moved 5 years. You're chasing even harder to catch up if you have not. And where are you going to get the skills? Because those who have already bought them up. Yep. So what have you got? You've got your own people, and you're back to, right, we've got to invest in these skills, and we've got to develop and change our people and help them move. Because, they're going to be sitting with a bundle of skills which aren't going to be much use.
Yeah.
They've already demonstrated they can learn things and they can deliver stuff. So let's get to learn some new stuff and learn how to deliver that. Quite a lot of it around the digital side is really around mindset and what you can imagine, what is possible. Once you understand what's possible, it's a very small step to go on to managing a change process. Change processes are the same as they were 5 years ago. That doesn't need relearning, but actually knowing what's possible, what you can put into that change process is really important. One of the things we've done at the association over the last 2 years is we've been giving all of our CGMAs what we call a digital mindset pack.
I love that.
Which is like $350 worth of CPD, which we give to all of them when they renew their subscription every year. And we did it for the first time 2019. We updated it, added some more stuff to it for 2020. So we're doing our enabling piece. We're doing our enabling piece there to help members make that journey. One of the great things about the partnership with Oracle, we talk about Agile Finance Revisited, now Agile Finance Reimagined. We're also going to have Agile Finance in Action, where we're building a training and development program together with Oracle, again to help people through this journey. We're really excited about that because we're able to use the resources not just of us as the association, but also everything that Oracle have.
Yeah, well, and they obviously co-authored this white paper. So if you're wanting to become an agile finance person, look for that learning package that's coming out real soon, I believe, and we'll be posting it out here on the LinkedIn, and we'll do a follow-up blog post about all of this. But that's very exciting, Andrew. And I know we're working on a whole lot of other learning things that keep the finance leaders ahead of this change, so they're not falling behind. But you all out there are going to have to think about, how do you help accelerate the skill sets inside your team, which is going to be an investment, but you can't get to those high value strategy layer pieces if your team is behind you in skill sets, right? That's a big part. So mindset and skill set, Andrew, I would say are two big things to get on your tools for an agile finance group, right?
They're all there. They all have to be acquired. And the reality is they don't come for free. They need to be invested in. And we see, when we talk to the SME group, there were probably 50% of them were saying, yes, we've invested in the skills of our people during the pandemic. But that's half of them who haven't invested in the skills of their people. Yeah. And there are all kinds of reasons for that. Some of them have said, we just can't afford it. The business is struggling. We need to get through it. That's a good excuse. Others have said we're too busy. I listen to that and I raise my eyebrows. I think you're too busy. You're probably going to kill your people. Let them off a little bit and give them some training, make them less busy and more effective.
Exactly.
By the way, you have to invest. And for individuals, again, you get this piece. Something like 70% of individual workers we talked to said, we think we've got the right skills to do the job we're doing. Well, they might well have that today. They probably won't have the right skills to do the job they want to do tomorrow.
Right.
So, the word out there, take some ownership of your own skill set, because nobody's obliged to do that for you, and you can make a difference.
Awesome. Well, Andrew, this has been a great beginning conversation. We're probably going to have more of these because this is a very relevant topic. We're seeing it all over the place when we talk to other finance leaders. And so thank you for being with us today. And my key takeaways were, the notion that you really do have to think about upskilling if you're going to get to that value added. I love your paper the other day, the chief value officer instead of the chief financial officer. I thought that was brilliant. That's what we're talking about. And anyhow, so we're going to be mindset, thinking about this business partner, data analytics, key skills, and how can you in finance drive digital transformation for your whole business, right? Those are the things that really stuck out for me today. And you can reach Andrew on Twitter at Andrew H. Harding and at CGMA. And then we'll be publishing this piece with those white papers linked on our blog at blionline.org//blog. So with that, Andrew, thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you, Tom. It's been great to be with you today.